Good morning, Year 10. Sorry that this is a little bit late. I've been having problems with my computer. So we're moving on today to the Beatles. Now, Beatles is part of Area of Study 2, which is all about popular music. And you have 3 study pieces in this area of study. So obviously we did Haydn for Area of Study 1. We're now in Area of Study 2, which is the Beatles, and you'll have 3 different pieces to look at. Today we're just going to look at With a Little Help from My Friends, which is one of your Beatles study pieces, okay? So your LO today is to analyse With a Little Help from My Friends by the Beatles. Now it's a really good idea when you're watching this video to take notes. So if you've got your music book, write them down in your music book just with a pen. If you haven't got your music book, take notes on paper. Or if you're more comfortable using class notebook, you could take notes there. Okay, but as long as you have the notes to refer to when you get to year 11. So, as I've just said, this is the second study piece that you'll be required to answer questions on in section B. So that means you could get an 8-mark question on this piece. There are 4 pieces in total. You've got Haydn, With a Little Help from My Friends, Within You Without You, and Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. So we're on the second of 4 pieces, okay? Right, key facts then that you need to know about the Beatles. So, all 3 Beatles study pieces are from this album, and this album is called Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, okay? That's the name of the album. It would be a really good idea over this time if you could download that album or stream that album and listen to it, because even if the Beatles aren't your favourite, we're going to be studying them. The more that you've heard by the Beatles, the better. So before they made this album, the Beatles had decided to stop performing live. So they weren't touring and they weren't doing any live performances. And there was lots of different reasons for that. We'll come on to that later. But that's really important because it changed the way that they recorded the album. It meant that their music could be much more complicated. So if you have to perform something live and there's only 4 members of your band, you're not going to be able to write really complex music because you can only have 4 parts to that music. If you're not performing live, you can have as many parts as you want, okay? So suddenly there was this whole new kind of more developed, more interesting music that was more complicated. It meant that the music in this album is experimental. It uses new musical structures. So remember, in music, structure is to do with the order of sections. They used lots of new recording techniques, and they also included a variety of genres. So genres just means styles. Okay, so we don't just have rock on this album. We've got rock, pop, we've got Indian classical music, we've got psychedelic rock. It's not just one style. They mix a lot of different styles, okay?